Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to yet another Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at all three of the brand new Pinnacle weapons that we'll be getting in this upcoming season. Now of course this upcoming season comes out in only a week's time, and that means that we're about to get ready for some serious grinding. Now these three Pinnacle weapons were actually released to us with the reveal of the new season, which is the season of the Drifter, and in one of Bungie's weekly updates they actually gave away what the special perks are going to be on all three of these weapons. So what I wanted to do in today's video is basically just do a very rough comparison of all three of these weapons, and hopefully I can kind of inform you guys on which one is the best, which one's in the middle, and which one's on the lower end. But again, take this stuff with a grain of salt. I don't have any of the stats for these weapons, like the handling, stability, anything like that, and we don't even have the time to kill numbers. So again, take this with a grain of salt, but I did want to do a early preliminary review on each one of these and compare them, so that hopefully if you guys don't have enough time to grind out all three of them in maybe a week or a month, then you guys can make your pick on which one you should go for in a very intelligent manner. Without further ado guys, let's get right into the first one. So the first weapon we have here is the Recluse, and this was very surprising. I honestly expected that Bungie was going to come out with a sniper rifle for competitive, seeing as how everybody was asking that since the release of the Mountaintop, but it seems like this time around they did go for the SMG, and honestly I'm not too butthurt about it because SMGs have really not been in a great spot in terms of the sandbox in recent months, and actually maybe even recent year, because SMGs have not been meta for a very long time. When the game first came out, we all know that the anti-ope was amazing and it was meta, and ever since it got nerfed, everyone kind of put it on the back burner, and we haven't seen much SMG play other than the Risk Runner, and time to time you're going to see that special person in Crucible that likes to use his Huckleberry, but other than that you don't really see them that often, and this is why I think it's a great decision to make a Pinnacle weapon an SMG. Now let's take a look at the perk here. Kills with any weapon improve this weapon's damage for a short time. Now this is super interesting because this is kind of like Rampage but on steroids. The reason why I say this is because it's not just a regular Rampage where every single time you kill somebody with your SMG you'll do bonus damage. You can actually pull out your primary weapon, get a kill, then switch to the SMG, and that is going to give you bonus damage as well. Now off the top of my head I can't think of anything that has really good synergy with this specific build, but I'm sure there are so many weapons out there once you do enough digging around and obviously testing within Crucible. Now in terms of the requirements for this weapon, this is obviously the Crucible Pinnacle, so you're likely going to have to play a lot of Crucible for this weapon, just like the Mountaintop. It'll likely be a quest as well, and what I envision is there being more ways to get this weapon than something like the Luna's Howl or the Not Forgone or the Redrix. And the reason why I think that is because obviously when the Mountaintop came out, Bungie wanted to give players an option, or an alternative I should say, to comp. So I think that a vast majority of this quest can be done in the quick play playlist, just like it was for the Mountaintop, and overall that's going to make a lot of people happy because comp is really not that fun for everybody, and at the same time there is a very big issue of DDoSing currently in the comp playlist, so this is almost like a necessity. Now overall this perk sounds good, but will it be something that carries this weapon and makes it one of those weapons where you have to equip it into that specific slot that it's in comp or in quick play? I don't know about that. It really doesn't seem that amazing at face value, but I guess we're really going to have to do some damage number testing to see what this thing is capable of and what kind of synergy we can get with other weapons that we pair with it. Next up, for the Vanguard Pinnacle weapon, we have the scout rifle called Oxygen SR3. The perk reads, Dragonfly deals more damage based on the number of precision hits made beforehand. Now this is something that is super impressive. There was actually a small clip that Bungie posted in their Vidoc where somebody was using this weapon against a massive mob of hobgoblins, and let's just say they basically got obliterated. It was very, very satisfying to watch, but I'm just wondering if that was the maximum or if they can take it to another level, because the explosion in the clip was already pretty massive. The one thing I worry about with this weapon is if it's going to be too situational for its own good. I say this because you obviously need to land precision hits before that massive dragonfly explosion can proc, and you also have to watch out because if you are doing precision hits to enemies, you cannot kill them or else the dragonfly will prematurely detonate, and you obviously don't want that. You want the biggest explosion possible, and so you're likely going to want to like chain 10 different headshots or crit spots on high tier enemies and then move over to, you know, some kind of enemy that you want to kill with that one blast. And then, you know, you got to really factor in how many enemies there are around that person, and so I think it's definitely a little bit situational, but depending on how much it can scale, it can have a massive explosion, and that's obviously a ton of fun and can be very helpful. And last but not least here, guys, we have the 21% Delirium. I am definitely very happy to see this machine gun in the sandbox because currently we don't have too many, and it's just a shame because machine guns were so fun back in Destiny 1. But anyways, guys, the 21% Delirium's perk is kills increase this weapon's damage until it is stowed or reloaded. Now, if you're not seeing the pattern now between all three of these weapons, then I'm sorry, I've probably lost you along the way, but every single one of these Pinnacle weapons increases its damage or its output after kills or subsequent hits via crit shots. This weapon is in the exact same position as the scout rifle. It all depends on how much ammo there is in the magazine. If there's like 50, 60, 70 shots in this thing, then this weapon could be one of the most deadliest weapons in the game by far. Every single time you get a kill, let's say in PvE on a lower tiered enemy, you can then use the rest of the magazine to just absolutely smoke a high tiered enemy. I could see this potentially scaling up to crazy numbers like 400 or 500%, and in Crucible you guys could already kind of put into your head what this weapon is capable of doing if you get a multi-kill before going for that last guy. If this thing has the potential of two-shotting, or dare I even say one-shotting somebody, then this is going to be a blast, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Now, this is the part of the video where I'm really going to start talking about my opinions here, and this is where some of you guys may disagree, and that's totally fine, but this is just based on previous experiences with Pinnacle rewards and obviously previous seasons. Now, for the most part, it's always been the case that Crucible has had the hardest Pinnacle to acquire simply because you are playing against real people, and that just adds a degree of difficulty. I'm going to go ahead and say that if you're somebody who doesn't play Crucible all that often, or maybe you're just not a very good player, maybe you don't enjoy Crucible, that you're safe this season to miss out on the SMG. Now, again, before anyone starts, typing in the comments here, who knows, maybe the SMG may be a very good weapon, but just at face value, it really doesn't look that excellent altogether. And I think that if you don't go for the Crucible in the first week or the first month, or maybe even not get the weapon at all, that might, and I stress the word might, that might be okay, because both the Oxygen SR3 and the 21% Delirium look exceptional. And I think if you go ahead and grab one of those two weapons, and this is again for people that aren't big on Crucible, if you go get those two weapons, you're definitely going to feel like you have a powerful weapon in your hands no matter which one you choose, and you're going to definitely enjoy using it in PvE and also in Gambit. Now, all around, if I look at these weapons and just compare them all around, all across the board, I would say Gambit is probably the one that you're going to want to go for. Number one, because of all the new Gambit content we're going to be getting, it's not really going to feel like a chore going and grabbing this specific weapon. And number two, because we're getting so much Gambit content, this weapon could be the key to doing well in Gambit Prime, which is one of the new game modes within Gambit itself. If 21% in the title of this weapon's name indicates how much damage it's going to scale every single time it gets a kill, then my god, I am so excited for this weapon. It's going to seriously shred low tier enemies like nobody's business, and in PvP it could be super deadly. Alright guys, this is a little bit of an epic fail right here, but I think that I might have screwed up the name of these weapons. I think what I've been reading is actually just the name of the perk itself rather than the weapon. So if you guys know for sure if that's the name of the weapon or the perk, please let me know in the comments down below. I feel like I definitely butchered this, but anyways, you guys get the gist of it and you guys get the point of the video. If I had a gun up to my head right now, I would tell you guys that the 21% Delirium, or the Gambit Pinnacle, whatever the name of the weapon is in the #1 spot, and then tied for second and third is the Oxygen SR3 and the submachine gun, mostly because the Oxygen SR3 is a little bit situational. You do have to land a lot of precision hits without actually killing the enemy, and the SMG seems like it's going to be a weapon that doesn't have that much damage stacked because it is a PvP focused weapon. Again though, I could be wrong, take this all with a grain of salt, but I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, once these weapons do come out, I will have detailed guides and breakdowns and just, Crucible commentaries and highlights with every single one of these videos. So make sure to stay tuned for the channel, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.